What's up everyone, it's Karthik with MoneyVest. Welcome on board for our market open live stream on this Christmas Eve. Markets are going to close a lot early today at around 1 p.m. Eastern. If the audio and the video is good, just give me a thumbs up. Just want to make sure there are no technical issues as we get started for this brand new trading day. Tomorrow the markets are going to be closed. So tomorrow is Christmas Day. The markets are indeed going to be closed for the entire day. And Friday, we're going to wrap up the entire week and then 3 more days left in a 2025 next week to wrap up the entire year. But today the markets are indeed going to close early, so make sure that you are considering that in your decision making, whether you are trading stocks or options. It's going to be very important to see how much volume and volatility we get on the day here. Speaking of volatility, we are officially under 14 on the VIX. So we are sitting at 13.95 as volatility continues to come down. Markets continue to push higher. QQQs are up over 9 basis points pre-market. S&P 500 very close to a brand new all-time high. S&P closed at just over 6,900 yesterday. And for a brand new all-time high, it only needs to go up about 10 points, and we are at a brand new all-time high for the S&P 500, which looks like pre-market it has the potential to do. So welcome everybody. Good morning. And again, if the audio and the video is good, just give me a thumbs up. I just want to make sure there are no technical issues for this live stream, and we've got about 35 minutes until market opens here, and hope you all are ready for this. So, good morning, audio, video, good. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Karthik. What so you think about holiday dry powder in gold? Say 3 months emergency fund, 1 month checkings, and 6 months in gold. Gold is going to be volatile, right? So always for emergency funds, you want something that's a little bit more stable and more liquid. As long as you're okay with that, for gold prices to fluctuate. And yes, it has been one of the best investments in 2025. Silver has been the best commodity along with platinum. They've both been rallying higher. So if you come over to platinum prices, we are sitting at well over $2,200 per ounce here. Year-to-date platinum is up over 155%. And from the beginning of this month, it is more than up 42% gains for this month alone for platinum. I mean, just take a look at that parabolic run up in platinum prices, and this is from April 2025. It's gone up over 150%. So a lot of consolidation sideways, and then finally taking off silver, platinum, gold. But they are going to be extremely volatile commodities. So commodities in general tends to be very volatile. So long answer short, no, I would not be comfortable having my emergency fund in commodities. But because it's really important to have that in something in more stable and more liquid. And palladium, let's take a look at palladium here. It's also been on an absolute tear. Let's take a look at this right here. It is trading at over $1,700 per ounce, 94% higher on a year-to-date basis. So at the very top, it's platinum. Then you've got silver, then gold. And then, of course, other commodities also come in. Also other precious metals that have done really well. So that's where we are. Meta right now, 663 is where we are. It's still trading under 665. So, the more it trades below 665, the better it is for me. The more time passes on. Friday is my expiration. I've already closed my 670 call from earlier this week for a nice 44% profit. And now the idea or the goal really is for us to look at Meta from 665 onwards. So if it trades below 665 today and on Friday, I'm going to close those options and I'm going to open new ones for next Friday. And next week, we've got 3 days in 2025 and a couple days in 2026. So Santa's only carrying precious metals in his bag this Christmas throughout all the crypto. Yeah, it seems like it. Crypto has not had a good year to date. If you come over to my sector analysis. So this right here is for all sectors, for all different asset classes as well. So just to give you a bit of an idea on what's moving, you'll notice we've got, you know what, let me just add silver here, and then I'm going to add platinum over here. And then, yeah, I think we already have real estate in there as well. So if you come over to performance, year to date, at the very top, you've got platinum, 151%, silver, 149%, gold, 71%, and then you've got technology sector, up 24%. You've got QQQs up 21%. Then you've got, communication services, you got industrials, S&P 500, you've got healthcare, financials, utilities. But then at the very bottom, you've got the bond market. So TLT down about 30 basis points. And then you've got consumer staples that are down 1.6, and Bitcoin is down over 6.5%. So both crypto, both Bitcoin and Ether have done poorly this year. So I've also added Ethereum. So if you come back to performance, and year to date, Ethereum is down almost 12%. So you're right. Santa's only carrying precious metals this year in his bag. So precious metals and technology, equity like stocks, and crypto, fixed incomes, so bonds have all underperformed so far in 2025 by a wide margin. Okay, good morning. How does CES show in Las Vegas usually affect the technology sector of the stock market in January as well? How does the CES show in Las Vegas usually affect the technology sector? So I'll have to do more research on it, but I'm sure it's going to be affecting chip stocks, semiconductor stocks, and then the entire technology space as well. But usually, if you come back over to the seasonality for the market, what you'll notice is that we are seeing January as a 50-50 month, right? So it's got a 50% win rate. So it's more or less like a coin flip for January, and with a median gain of 0.62% and an average loss of 0.08%. So it's more or less a coin flip. Uncertainty. Nobody knows how January is gonna perform. So I'm also going to be doing that analysis, which we mentioned yesterday, that, on a very strong year, a lot of people want to push their taxable gain to the next year. And as a result, January could be volatile and it could carry some risk this year. In 2026, we could see some potential selling pressure because of such a strong year in 2025. And especially for the last 3 years. 3 years have been very strong for the market. And as a result, there may be some profit taking in January as people look to push profits, taxable gain for next year. Mark, thank you, Karthik, for the answer, and have a Merry Christmas. Yes, thank you so much, you guys. Merry Christmas to all of you. A very, very happy holidays to you and your family. This week is going to be super slow because I'm also kind of heading into that holiday season mode. I take my vacation on 28th, so I'm flying back, and I'll be there until the first week of January. So just 7 to 10 days off. I'm going to be taking some presents back home for the family. My family is visiting from the US as well. So we'll have my cousins, my uncle, and parents, everybody. So looking forward to a much needed break. Excuse me. After a year long of, just analyzing and videos and everything. I love it. And we're going to be coming in super energized for 2026. So definitely take some time off, after this week, because Christmas and New Year's, last week of December always feels like, why are we even working? Why are we even in meetings? We should be just like doing nothing, So yeah, that's my hope and my recommendation for everyone. What's my fundamental value for Tesla, Akash? So I did a video on Tesla, like a full detailed video. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. Going over 2026 and also the massive market that we're going to be operating in, which is the robotics and autonomous vehicle market. It's huge. It's expected to get up to over $5 trillion by the year 2035. So in 9 years, is expected to grow by 34% per year. So long term, in my personal opinion, I think Tesla has the most potential upside among all Magnificent Seven stocks, given the large market that it operates in. So is it going to be volatile? Yes. Is its valuation going to be a hotly debated topic? Absolutely. Do you think Tesla is expensive? Probably. But it's also one of those companies that has the most asymmetric opportunity long term with, as I said, a massive potential upside. So those are my thoughts there. Sagar, welcome on board. What do you think about small caps for 2026? Small caps, I really like in general. I think they have more upside potential than large caps, obviously, because they've got more room to grow. But in times of distress or any kind of a recession, environment, small caps are the first ones to fall the hardest, right? So if you look at IWM, which is the Russell 2000 ETF, sitting at an all-time high year to date, this thing is up over 13%. So a little bit of an underperformance compared to S&P 500, because a lot of the 2000 names that are in there, Russell 2000, a lot of them are not profitable. A lot of them are not cash flowing well. And so it's a very, very small percentage of stocks that are actually carrying the index higher. Whereas the S&P 500 is a whole different ballgame. NASDAQ is a whole different ballgame. Large cap, tech, profitable, cash flowing businesses, high growth potentials, great moats. So small caps as a sector overall, has its goods and bads. But in times of recession, times of distress, these are the companies that fall the hardest. Large cap tends to hold up a lot better. So is SpaceX even profitable? Where do they make their money? Will SpaceX IPO have influence on Tesla price action? So yeah, I don't think they are. It's kind of hard to understand, where they actually make their money. So they probably are not profitable at all. It's a very, very capital intensive business. You're building rockets, which require a ton of capital. And as a result, it is, again, very, very expensive to fund these operations. And so turning out a profit, especially when you don't have like a revenue model, like where do they even make their money, is very difficult from a long-term perspective. So it really is, there are some businesses out there that are really just doing a service for humanity. They're not really there to make money. And someone has to fund it. Someone has to fund it, because operations for SpaceX, for a lot of these space programs, they need to be funded, right, by the government. They're not there to make money. But yeah, SpaceX does indeed operate as a company, and companies' goals are to make money. So with regards to whether it affects Tesla's price action, depends how much of an overlap we're getting, how much of a technological overlap we're getting. Hold on one second. All right, I'll just do this. My battery died for the light. Yeah, so you know what? Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna turn on the light. Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, so it depends how much of an overlap we're getting between those companies, and that's most likely going to be affecting Tesla's price action as well. So, okay. I have Rocket Labs, Marvell, SoundHound, Bumble, Microchip Technologies on my list to buy next year. Are there any of these you would highly recommend staying away from? So, that's a decent list. Bumble, I would be questioning a bit. What is it that you see for Bumble that maybe we're missing? It's been on a very strong downtrend of lower highs and lower lows, and it's a very overly saturated market. What is Bumble doing that other dating apps aren't? So, not a lot of moat. I would avoid Bumble if you can. Rocket Labs, is on an explosion here on short squeezes, interest rate cuts, and just a lot of momentum coming in for this. So this one also has already moved up quite a bit, right? So 2,000% gains since May of last year. Just from April of this year, it's up over 400%. So how much more upside does it really have? And it's already a $41 billion business on revenues of 430 million. That's 100 times sales, that you're looking at. So it's a very expensive company. Yeah, Bumble was trading in the 60s, I believe, not too long ago, literally a few years ago. Yeah, it was in the 80s, it was in the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, and now it's like $3. So, are you investing in any of these satellite-based phone providers like ASTS or Rocket Labs? Seems like potential game changers. Even if I do, I think it's going to be a very small position. It's going to be an asymmetric position because it's not going to be a core of the portfolio, right? Because a lot of these companies, they're not making money. I've mentioned this before, it's actually part of the hot watch list as well. ASTS is there, Rigetti Computing is there, Rocket Labs is there, Planet is there, Bitfarms, Iron, Grab, Nebius, Joby, you name it. This entire watch list is the hot watch list. Space, we got quantum computing, we got nuclear energy, we got so many different kinds of businesses here that are in these super early stages. But we also have to be very careful, with the risk that they carry. So yeah, that's going to be my take on it. If you are looking into these companies, please make sure that you only invest the amount that you can afford to lose because they can be very volatile. Seems like 2025 was a year of over-concentration by investors on AI, semi, and data center plays, so all the gains have come from there. Do we still see this trend to keep compounding? Yes, good observation, and that's exactly what we have witnessed this year, as a lot of concentration, among investors going into technology, into AI, into data centers. Is this going to unwind at some point? Are we going to see investors pull money out? Nobody knows, right? But there's always going to be that capital rotation, especially among institutional investors and hedge funds that have a very short, time horizon because they're only forecasting for the next few quarters, and all they really want is to be able to beat the S&P 500 every year. And that's exactly one of the reasons why I do think that in January, there is a possibility that we do see a pullback or a correction as we see this profit taking among investors who've had a very successful year. Because A, they want to wrap up the year, they want to push their taxable gains to the next year, and B, and they want to start preparing those prospectus to share it to other investors and show them their performance, and then start fresh. So, for those reasons, I could see January as being a bit more bumpy in 2026. Also because volatility is low. I mean, it's really coming down. It's some pretty low readings. I know I've been hammering on this point over the last 3 or 4 videos, but if you come over to where the VIX is, it is now under 14, which is going to put us in a very, very low reading. We're at the 25th percentile now. So the moment it drops below 25th percentile, this is going to turn from normal to rare. And the moment it turns rare, that's when we have to be very careful, very cautious. That's when the cash exposure increases. I get a little bit more prepared. It's time for me to be more defensive in the market because volatility is really low. Yeah, cash ready for 2026 as VIX keeps going lower. That's the plan. That's literally what I'm doing now, is cash ready as volatility is going down. It's always when you least expected is when we have to be the most prepared. Because right now when the VIX is so low and markets are near all-time highs, a lot of investors cannot wrap their head around the fact that there could be a volatility spike and there could be a correction or there could be a pullback. But this is exactly when you need to be prepared the most. It's not when it's already happening that we start preparing. It's when there is the least expectations of it. So when you're not expecting, when everything looks fine, everything is going fine, is when we need to prepare the most. Because when things start to turn, that's when we deploy. That's when we execute on that strategy. That's not when we prepare. We prepare before, we execute later. Would you be interested in buying leaps on some medical companies that are going through groundbreaking trials next year as part of the moonshot portfolio? I'm planning on doing this year. So if you can share some ideas and stocks, happy to look into those companies individually. But yeah, if you've got a moonshot portfolio, then there's plenty of ways you can structure that with leaps, with leverage, with options, other kind of options. Even smaller cap stocks in the moonshot portfolio for asymmetric bets that might make sense long term. So, all right, market's about to open in about 10 minutes here. QQQs are up 7 basis points, more or less. S&P 500 flat. Meta continues to trade at 663, 664. How many of you guys think that it's going to close below 665 by this Friday? So let's do a poll. Meta by Friday's close. Over 665, less than 665. Let's see. I'm going to be pushing my luck on this trade. Again, I'm going to be pushing my luck on this trade. A lot of members in the Discord want it to absolutely break to the upside, trade up to 700, and I feel like I'm the only one rooting for Meta to not break out to the upside, at least not until Friday. So it's such a fun game in Discord. I've seen so many people. They're like, "Come on, Meta, $700. Come on, Meta, 675. Break to the upside." And I'm just by myself there saying, "No, Meta, you're doing just fine. You're doing great. Stay below 665." So I want to hear from all of you. A lot of you guys are expecting Meta to be over 665. See, that's why a lot of people are betting in favor of this bullish breakout. Jojo wouldn't bet against Karthik. No, I've already traded this like 5 times now. 4 times. I've traded this call 4 times. And all 4 times we've come out ahead. 90% profit, 80% profit. Literally called this earlier this week. We sold it for a 44% profit. So I've already collected $2,000 in premiums from Meta. So I don't mind if it breaks above 665, but I'd be happier if it stays below 665. Then I'm able to collect another $500, $400 just in 3 days, and then sell another call for next Friday. So, Wall Street holics. I told you this morning, Caddy, I need Meta to print my calls. I hope you get called. Oh man. Now those are fighting words. Those are actually fighting words. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Meta. Last Friday was amazing. We'll see what happens this Friday. And I would be so happy, not for the money, but just for the game that this is, if it trades below 665 by Friday, if it closes below 665. So, see an ascending triangle on the 4-hour time frame. You might just have to give your shares away. Looks like I'm going to be rolling. A lot of you guys are very bullish. You guys are talking me into switching my position here. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there is an ascending triangle for sure, but I also do see a lot of resistance in the 670s, 660s. So, come on, Meta. Just a couple dollars, stay below it. I'm good if you dip back to your light buys. Need to pick up some more. Looking out for you here, buddy. Thank you. I've got at least somebody in my corner so we can acquire more, get more deals. I'm actually considering picking up Broadcom today. Might start a position and dollar cost average a little bit more. And so that's going to be the plan for Broadcom. And then sell calls on Broadcom as well. So thinking about doing that as well for this stock. 320s. was a support, that was of course a better buy, as it's already moved up about 9% so far. Center rally will push through those. Under 670, I have 3 cover calls expiring this Friday. Yeah, Zach, I have the 670. I had the 670, which I closed earlier this week on Monday. So I opened them Monday, closed them Monday, and then I opened new ones on Monday for 665. So it's really playing with fire. It was trading down to 658 at the time. I was like, okay, I've got some breathing room here. But then yesterday, just this price, literally this price is what I want for Friday's close. 664.94. Not only is that 100% out of the money, worthless, but it also pisses off the buyer that he's off by 6 cents. It's just absolutely going to be crazy. By the way, everyone, I'm still offering the free options trade with me as a complimentary session. So one-on-one, we'll do this call. I've already scheduled so many calls this week. If you want to join between now and until the end of this month, there's a 40% annual discount, and you also get 1 complimentary call with me. I'm going to walk you through and help you through your first ever options trade. And the commitment, the goal is to generate good premium so that helps you pay for the entire year's worth of subscription. So if you're interested, definitely take up on that offer and email me at admin@moneyvest.com, and I'm more than happy to help with that. So that's where we are. I also have 675 covered call for January. Okay, perfect. I opened the iron calls, $55 not too long ago, and then I have the NVIDIA 187 and 170, which 187 is now in the money, 170 has been deep in the money after this breakout from NVIDIA. Yesterday was a very strong day for NVIDIA, 3% move to the upside. I think Nebius is potentially one of these best risk reward next year. What's your thoughts? Let's take a look. And we already have that in the hot watch list as well, right? So fundamentally speaking, I think it has to do better. I think it has to significantly do better. You've got losses after losses for earnings. Revenue expected to once again accelerate in 2026 and beyond. But profitability, where is that? That's what we have to look out for as well. Valuation is trading at a 59 times sales. So again, you've got a stock trading at 60 times sales with no profitability. I don't know about you, but fundamentally long term, that doesn't look good for me. Maybe a small starter position, but it's not going to be a core. Yeah, just an FYI on Broadcom, they will be paying a dividend on December 31st, 65 cents. Speculator drop on price after cover calls expire January 2nd. Just saying yes. So Broadcom's dividend yield is around 74 basis points. I don't expect a big drop on that. Whatever this ex-dividend date is already out. So once the dividend comes out, I don't expect a big drop on Broadcom based on dividends. Yeah, Walt, I'll take a look at your question here. What do you think about trading on Netflix, buying 300 shares and selling covered calls? Buy rights tend to do a lot better when the stock is trading at a resistance and it's actually pushing up, because you want to buy into something that's actually getting a lot of momentum, and you want to sell calls because the call premiums are going to be very attractive because it's already trading at a very, good resistance, good price, and it's been moving higher, right? So it's getting a lot of momentum behind it. So that's usually when I do buy rights, is for a stock that's pushing up. There's a lot of momentum behind it. For example, Broadcom, I will be considering a buy right because it's already on this reversal. It's up 9% from its lows. It's getting that momentum. For Netflix, buy rights are good, but then call premiums are not going to be as strong as what you would expect for something that's moving up. So if you were to tell me that I can pick up 300 shares because I do like Netflix here at these prices, wait a little bit longer to see that recovery, let's say it gets back up to $100, and then sell covered calls, then yes, it makes a lot of sense. You want to have that separation between the moment you buy shares and then sell covered calls, because because of that difference in premiums. Because otherwise, there's better opportunities to do buy rights out there. So, Meta just dropped to 662. Great. Great. I closed mine Monday and bought it back once it gaps up to 664. Any updates on NVTS stock? We'll take a look at that here in just a minute. And yeah, market's going to open in about 3 minutes. So let's wrap up here. Navitas, we've done some analysis on this as well. A lot of consolidation sideways, resistance all the way up to 945, 950, and a support level roughly around 550 for Netflix. Another support level is going to be down here at 730 for Navitas. And so right now we're seeing a lot of consolidation sideways. So what else? What else is going on? Today is 1 p.m. close, by the way, so early market close. Shorter trading day. And then we're going to wrap up the week with the final day on Friday to close out the week. And then next week, we're going to close out the year. I'm going to go over the entire options portfolio. All of that is going to be shared in our Patreon, the entire options portfolio update. Every single week this year. I mean, of course, it's a weekly update, right? So I have to. Every week, I have shared the options portfolio. Every week. So this, again, is 2025. Week number 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45. You go all the way down here. Every week, showing you everything in the portfolio. Started all the way back earlier this year. It's kind of nice to see how far, we've come as a community. When you look back how you started, hopefully there was a lot of growth this year for everyone. But yeah, you can check this out as well. Go back to week 1, watch that video, what all positions I had, and you can compare that to most latest updates as well. Okay, let's take a look at Stera Labs. 28 billion market cap company. Looks like we've done some analysis on this. A strong uptrend of higher highs and higher lows. Pretty strong support at 147, all the way down to as low as $92, $93. So this right here is going to be that level to watch for this company. Revenue is growing, profitability also expanding rapidly here. Quarter over quarter basis, very strong. 153 times earnings, 43 times sales, which of course is a very expensive multiple. And earnings expected to grow from $1.78 to over $4. So yes, it is a very high growth stock here, but also trades at a very expensive valuation. JD is better one to take a loss and move on. Well, if the thesis is dead, if you no longer believe in the company, right? So that's one thing that you have to evaluate before the end of this year, is like go over to your portfolio and see, are there any stocks worth holding on to? If not, then better to just bite the bullet, take the loss, and reinvest it elsewhere. All right, markets are open, everybody. We are open on this short trading day. Markets close at 1 p.m. Eastern today. S&P flat, QQQ is flat. Meta trading just shy of 664. We got Nvidia at just under 188 at the moment. We'll see how Meta trades, how Tesla trades, how Nvidia trades on the day today, as I do have a lot of options open for all these stocks. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Really appreciate you all. Again, link's going to be down below if you're interested in joining our MoneyVest platform, our community on Discord with real-time trade alerts, members-only videos on Patreon. Everything is going to be shared if you're interested, as well as of course, the one free complimentary call that I'm offering right now. So thank you so much. I'm going to jump into our Discord, share some updates and alerts there. Any questions, message me on Discord or email me at admin@moneyvest.com, and I'm more than happy to help. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all